My name is Wes Bruce, and I was born and raised in Arnold, California. It's kind of in between Lake Tahoe and Yosemite, but I am home based out of Brooklyn. And I work with creating these fictional worlds, these mostly large-scale installations that allow you to enter into a space that's kind of factual, kind of fictional, but it blurs the lines so that that doesn't become important. My exhibition here at the Palo Alto Art Center is called Drift, and it's a fictional journey down into the intuitive depths of yourself, and at the bottom of those intuitive depths you find a river. And if you imagine that as a metaphor, it's this life source and it's this place of unending wholeness. And so as you walk through this space, you are literally submerging down into that metaphorical river of your deepest, most essential centered self. And from there, you're swimming through and you're finding all of these little scraps of poems and ideas. And another way of saying what's down in there, that's where your soul lives, and that's your origin point of deep breathing and your spirit. And so this space is that space for you to tap into your essential center in your soul and meditate, and whatever word you use for it, it's just supposed to like sit here in your chest and you feel it. With the intention of just wanting people to like really sink down into themselves, I wanted them to be self-reflective in that, and it was like self-reflective as a metaphor, self-reflective as a metaphor. And I was like, oh, what if I did self-reflective as like an actual tangible object too, and put a mirror there, but then make it an object of centering. So we have like the circle that's on the floor, and you come up and you stand in it, and there's sort of like this little meditation that's there, and it's sit or stand here and simply rest. Let your body be still, open yourself, open your shoulders, your lungs, your heart, and take a breath. Notice depth and stillness, and take a moment. Notice and savor it. Joy and healing dwell here. When it comes to creating a site-specific installation like the one that we're in now, it all starts from being something that's kind of like a journal entry for me. There's this mantra, the things that are most personal are the most universal. And so everything in the installation is like deeply part of my story, and I feel connected to it. I feel like I have a relationship with the water metaphors, with the plants, with the animals that I'm referencing. And so that's kind of like the qualitative heart part of it. But then the hands-on part is like all of this fabric is hand-dyed in my studio. It's like one of the greatest messes you could ever witness. It's just like this big, sloshy, watery, kind of indigo craziness in there. And you know, running all these strips along the ceiling, torn with my hands, and then dip dyed. And then all of the leaves are kind of inspired by kind of ferns, kind of seaweed, kind of wild grasses. But it's to try and like capture a mood. So I'm not trying to like fulfill this exact vision. In my head, it's very intuitive based and it's reactionary. So I put something here and it feels right over there. So I treat the architecture more like a painting where things can move and shape versus being really rigid. The experience that I would like to create for people coming in here is one that really sinks them into their body and into that sense of themselves and their spirit, and sort of the meeting point of body and soul, or body and spirit. And it makes you feel like you can take a deep breath. It makes you want to pause. It makes you want to reflect on where you've been, where you're going, and just this circular, singular spot that you find yourself in now. I want people to feel like a more whole, full version of themselves while they're here, and to take that with them. And as all of this is like reflective on the natural world, I think as we go out and we enter the natural world, we also enter ourselves. So I want people to go on this inward journey and then to come all the way back out and to leave with that sense of self and like little scraps of poems that you can kind of whisper under their breath, like spells to take with them to remind themselves. It's like this whole fictional world that comes into it, and you are transported, hopefully, and you learn something about your inner world, and you're more eager and curious to go out and seek interesting connections and just genuine interactions and experiences with other people and the world around you. you become the focal point and the main subject of the entire installation. So it isn't about like looking at a piece of art, like the actual heart and like deepest moment is just when you're looking down into your own depths, reflected back at you in the mirror. And then you kind of go and you move on from there, and it's a kind of a beautiful idea that everybody that comes and stands here becomes the subject of the installation, and how many people over the course of the life of the whole project, by the time it comes down in August, will have become like the essential center, like the very core, the very heart of the whole thing, and all of like the healing, all of the joy, all the self-reflection that comes in the space, that all kind of like comes directly back to here. So it's like rings on a pond when you drop a stone in, or tree rings. And then that metaphor just kind of keeps spreading out and out and out. And then the idea being that it goes out further past the museum, and it's waves of healing and joy and connection and attention that just emanate out like rings on water from the art center.